Which Curlsmith gel is right for you? With there being so many different options, I totally understand how it can be confusing when choosing the right gel for your curly or wavy hair. Well, I put together a comparison chart that goes into detail about how each different gel is different when it comes to hold level, moisture level, protein content, the different ingredients and each unique benefit, and which hair types I think each one is best for. I'm also including how each of the gels look in my hair so we can compare side by side. My name is Gina and welcome back to my channel. Here I love talking all things naturally curly hair, breaking things down in a really simple, easy to follow way, and I love talking about product ingredients, which is what we're going to do here today. And I also wanted to thank Curlsmith for partnering with me for this video. Let's dive in. There are now about 7 different gels from Curlsmith that all have their unique benefits. I am going to include timestamps down below if you are interested in just a particular gel, but I definitely recommend watching all the way through because I am going to kind of compare each gel to other similar ones throughout the video. First up is Curlsmith's latest gel, and this is the Frizz Rescue Curl Retainer. They call it a retainer. I actually kind of think this is more of like a styler jelly, almost like a curl cream. Like I use it as a curl cream because I do like to layer other gels on top of this because it doesn't really provide as much hold as my curls need, but it is technically a jelly styler. That's how they have it labeled here. They call it a level 6 medium hold. I guess you could get medium hold just depending on your curl type and how much you apply. And everyone gets different hold levels. So sometimes hold levels can be subjective, so just keep that in mind. But I am going off of my experience for this. And then I'll also, of course, share with you how Curlsmith has labeled it and intended it to be, but everyone's curl type is different. So this one is unique in that it contains a lot of different oils that are supposed to help kind of tame frizz. Now there's different ways that you can tame frizz. That can be either kind of laying down the hair and kind of taming it with oils, kind of with that weight from oils, or it can be through styling agents like polyquaternium, which we'll talk about in a minute, that helps with humidity. Those are in some of the stronger hold gels, and there's also different styling agents in those gels that provide that hold. But this one mainly just uses those oils to kind of tame the frizz. So that would be most beneficial for people who don't want any crunch. Maybe you don't like gel at all, no matter which gel you try, you just don't like using gels, and you want something that's like a step up from using a curl cream. That's when I would go with this one. And if your hair likes a lot of oils and maybe you want some shine in your hair, it would be good for that. I like layering this one with the In-Shower Style Fixer, which is the strongest hold gel option. I need to play around with some more gels and kind of layering it. Maybe even try layering it with the new mousse gel option that they have. We'll have to see. But this one is rich in lots of different oils and also squalane. So because of the different oils, I think this one actually works best for medium to coarse hair textures and that higher porosity. Because if your hair is very fine and or low porosity, it can get weighed down easily. I do find the oils to be fairly lightweight, but there is a lot of them and it does have that coconut butter and some other oil ingredients that could potentially be a little bit heavy for those really fine hair types. You would just have to use it more sparingly if you did want to try this one out. In terms of the formula and the consistency, I find it to be like a light to medium thickness, but then when it comes to the weight of it, I have labeled it as a medium weight because of all of those oils, but the texture of it is pretty lightweight. So that's why I kind of met in the middle at a medium weight product. Next gel is probably my favorite from Curlsmith, and I actually just got a refill of this. So this is a brand new bottle. My other one was getting pretty low because I use it so much. This is the Up Aqua Gel. I did not think this would be my favorite because it's technically one of their lightest hold options. They labeled this one as a level 5 light hold gel, but I actually find this to be more of like a medium to sometimes even a firmer hold gel because I use a lot of it and it just works really well for my hair. I like to style on damp hair, which also leads to more hold compared to styling soaking wet. So I get pretty great hold with this. This is also my favorite consistency. It's a very thin, water-like liquid consistency, which I love because it has a lot of slip in it. It doesn't tangle up my coarse areas. It does have proteins in it. This is the only gel from Curlsmith with proteins, but it is like lower on the ingredients list, so you don't have to worry about protein overload with this. If you are somebody with coarse or lower porosity hair, maybe only use this product with protein in your routine versus a bunch of products with protein. That's kind of how you can balance it out. But overall, I think it's suitable for all hair types, but it's especially going to benefit those with high porosity and damaged hair because of the protein ingredients in here. I also find that this holds up great in my hair on next day hair in terms of keeping the moisture in because of the protein ingredients. I can even use this by itself. I don't even have to use a curl cream underneath because I do find it to be pretty moisturizing. Proteins help to kind of condition and coat the hair and fill in the gaps in our hair's cuticle, which can really help with that moisture retention in the hair. So I don't even find I need to use a cream with this. It can even work for me as a single styler, which is great. It also gives that very flexible hold. So even though I can like get a pretty good cast with it, it's not like a hard cast. And when you scrunch it out, your hair does feel very soft, but it doesn't frizz up immediately. So that's the main difference with this one. It's pretty unique. The next one in terms of hold level for me, so this to me is like the third gel when it comes to hold level. This is the fragrance-free Shine Jelly. This says it's a level 6 flexible hold. It's definitely a flexible hold. I can get a light cast with this, but I can completely scrunch it out to where sometimes I get a little bit of frizz after I scrunch out the cast. So that's kind of the hold level to me, where it's like pretty much a light to medium hold gel for my hair type, which is naturally very frizzy and high porosity. In terms of the formula, it's like a medium consistency. Like it's not as runny as the Shape Up Aqua Gel, but it's also not thick either. It's kind of like right in the middle. And then in terms of the weight and the moisture content, I find it to be pretty lightweight. There's not a ton of moisturizing ingredients, but it's also not drying on the hair either. I'd say the biggest benefit to this one is the shine enhancing properties that it has. It contains just one oil and then some extracts that are supposed to really help with shine. So I do notice more shine in my hair when I use this. And I do think this could work for pretty much any hair type because it's right in the middle in terms of medium weight, medium consistency, doesn't contain protein. And with it being fragrance free, anyone can use it. I know some people have allergies, so this is more hypoallergenic. It's not going to irritate the scalp if you do have sensitivities, and it doesn't have that fragrance for those of you that don't like fragrance in your products. I will say though, I can smell the styling agents in this gel. It's not like a terrible bad smell or anything, but it is like just the natural smell that comes from styling agents, like just pure, I don't know, like it's not completely scent free. It does have like that styling agent smell in it, which I know some people probably can pick up on because it doesn't have those added essential oils and fragrances to like cover it up. So you do have a smell. It just doesn't have added fragrance in the ingredients, if that makes sense. The next gel is the Hydro Style Flexi Jelly, which is very similar to the Shine Jelly. I would pretty much consider the Shine Jelly to be the fragrance-free version of this because it's very similar for me in terms of hold level. So this is a level 7 medium hold. So maybe like a little bit stronger hold for me out of this one compared to the Shine Jelly. But this is very lightweight. This is probably the most lightweight option in terms of moisture content. But when it comes to consistency, I think it's kind of like a medium to light consistency. So it's not as runny as the Shape Up Aqua Gel. Again, it's like right in between when it comes to the consistency. The most unique thing about this is the hyaluronic acid, which is very moisturizing, but also very lightweight. It's a pretty powerful humectant. So it's going to be really great for any hair type, but especially those of you with low porosity hair that struggle with moisture absorption. This would definitely help you with that. And also fine hair types. So fine and low porosity hair types are going to get weighed down very easily. So this is going to be very lightweight. It doesn't have any heavy oils and butters. And because of that, it's totally safe to use closer to your scalp. So ideally, you don't want to apply products directly on your scalp, but this one is not going to cause buildup. So if buildup is something that you really struggle with and you don't like how products feel when they get on your scalp, maybe go with this one because it is very lightweight and it's also part of the scalp recipe, which has products in it that are not supposed to lead to scalp problems, like support a healthy scalp environment, if that makes sense. So this one, no buildup. I don't get buildup from any of these, but definitely not with this one. Next up, we have the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle. This has been one of my all-time favorite gels for a long time, but it's mainly something that I reach for in the fall and the winter time. So you probably haven't seen me using it as much recently, and that is because it is so moisturizing and it's also very defining. Like I kind of struggle sometimes when I use this with applying too much because I do find it to be so concentrated, and a little definitely goes a long way. But this is like a light jelly custard consistency. I think Curlsmith describes it as like a jello. It definitely looks like jello. It has that kind of jiggly light consistency. But this one is unique in that it is packed with ingredients that help you with moisture retention. So those of you that live in dry climates, if you live in the desert, if it's wintertime where you are and it's very dry, this is gonna help hold the moisture in your hair. Now, this does often lead to a very piecey, almost stringy look for me when I use too much. I think because of those oils in it and the aloe in it, it definitely kind of like clumps the hair to where it's very defined, but I find my day 2 results look even better with this. So this is my favorite gel if I want like long lasting results where it's like very defined on wash day, but then the next day it's gonna look even better. So if you need your curls to hold up for days, go with this one, or maybe even layer this one with some other gels and try that out. So I consider this to be a medium to stronghold gel. Like, it's definitely a buildable gel. So depending on how much you use, you can definitely get a stronger hold out of this. And like I mentioned, if you use too much of it and you're heavy handed with it, you're going to get that cast that you can't really scrunch out. Like, it will stay very defined. But by day 2, it should kind of soften up and some of that moisture will evaporate a little bit to where it's not too defined, but you still are left with a lot of shine because of all the oils in this, but it's not as heavy as some of the other gels with a lot of oils. This one I still find to be kind of on the lightweight side, kind of like medium weight, I guess you would say. I think this could benefit all porosities and hair textures. However, if you do have fine hair, that's when you would only want to use a very small amount because it can be hard to scrunch out and it can make it look very piecey, and it does have those oils. So maybe go very light-handed with it. But it could definitely benefit those with low porosity hair who struggle with getting that moisture absorption and with moisture retention because of the aloe and the other oils in it. And then that can also help high porosity as well, because high porosity hair dries out really fast throughout the week, and this will help keep that moisture in. So definitely something I use more in the fall and winter time. It unfortunately doesn't contain humidity blocking ingredients, so that's why I usually reach for it more in the fall and winter, but I can totally layer this too with other of the gels that do help with humidity. So because it is so concentrated, I would say this one might be the least beginner friendly. Like, you do have to kind of master the right amount to use. Second to last one is the fragrance-free Shine Gel. This is a level 9 stronghold gel. So this is the second to highest stronghold gel option that they have. This one is also fragrance-free. This has a thick consistency. So this is the thickest type of gel that they have, along with the next one that I'm going to share. Because of that thick consistency, I have to use a lot more water in my routine. So not only more water in my hair, but I also have to add water to my palms and kind of mix it together to thin it out. And that's gonna make it be a lot easier to spread, but it's definitely gonna give you that strong hold. Anyone with like very fine hair that gets overly soft, you might actually like that very thick consistency because it can give your hair that texture and that longer lasting hold, so your hair doesn't become like overly soft on day 2. So that's one benefit of a thicker gel. I just usually like a thinner gel, so I try and thin it out when I use it, or I use it like as a topper on top of the Shape Up Aqua Gel, so I'm getting kind of like best of both worlds. The other biggest advantage of this one is that it contains humidity blocking ingredients. So this is one that I will reach for more in the summer months and a lot more throughout the year, since I do deal with a lot of humidity. It's also fragrance free, obviously, so those of you that don't want fragrance, or if you have any sensitivities, this one is good for that. And it does help with shine because of those extracts in it that do help with shine. I think all textures and porosities can use this, but if you do have coarse textured hair, be mindful of that thick texture. You might have to use less and definitely emulsify it with some water. Last but not least is the in-shower style fixer. This is part of the classic moisture recipe from Curlsmith. This one's very similar to the Shine Gel in terms of formulation, but this one contains more oils in it, and it's one step up in terms of hold level. So they label this as a level 10 extreme hold. So the Shine Gel is basically the fragrance-free version of this and the more lightweight version of this. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me using the Shine Gel over the in-shower style fixer, because it can be a little bit heavy for my hair type. So my hair is actually medium to coarse textured, but it's low density. So I do still have to be mindful of using products with a lot of heavy oils and butters because it can weigh down my hair. So that's one thing I noticed with this is it has a lot of oils in it because it is part of that moisture recipe. So I get more of a wet look with this. And I'm also kind of heavy handed. If you use less of it, it would probably be a lot more lightweight. So it can work for all hair types, but I especially see it being beneficial for those medium to coarse hair textures and definitely that higher porosity that needs more of those oils. But keep in mind, if you do have fine hair, you might get more of that weighed down look. But some of you might like that if you like more of like a tame look. It does have humidity protection in it. And in fact, it has that polyquaternium 69. And both of these have that, which is like one of the best ingredients for humidity. It also has castor oil in it, which actually that castor oil ingredient is in almost all of the Curlsmith gels, but it's not too heavy the way that they have it formulated. Also has avocado oil in it, apricot kernel oil, sunflower seed oil, aloe vera. So there is aloe in this one as well. So it is kind of similar in terms of the oils to the curl defining styling souffle, but this one has that thicker consistency in the humidity protection, whereas this souffle doesn't have humidity protection in it other than like the aloe that does kind of help a little bit in humidity, and it is more lightweight in terms of the consistency. When I use the in-shower style fixer, sometimes I also notice I can't fully scrunch it out, but it does look a lot better by day 2. I remember using this and not even having to do any refreshing on day 2, and that's how you know that you have pretty good strong hold. I hope that helps kind of compare and contrast these gels. If there's like 2 gels that you're torn between, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to kind of break it down and share with you the differences to help you choose which one is right for you. And if you're wondering how any of these compare to other gels that I talk about on my channel all the time, definitely let me know which gels you want me to compare it to in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to all of you on that. I am going to have the entire comparison chart available for download for free on my blog. I'm going to have that link down below. I wanted to put together more of these shopping comparison charts because I know you guys find that helpful, especially when you're using the shop page on my blog, which allows you to filter products based on your needs. I know it can still be kind of tough to know, well, which one is right with which hair type. So I'm going to try and create more of these comparison charts for all of these comparison videos that I do within each brand. If there's any brands that you want me to compare Curlsmith products to, definitely let me know at that as well, and I will continue making these comparison charts. And if you want to see one of my most recent routines where I actually use the Shape Up Aqua Gel and how I get more hold out of that for a very long lasting look, that's great if you're going to be traveling or if you just don't want to have to do a lot to your hair, then check out the video that I have linked right here on the screen. It's a low maintenance curly hair routine and you don't have to do any refreshing when doing this routine. So I'll have that linked right here and I will talk to you over there. Bye everyone.